Well, God is dead. That's how some newspapers around the world are reacting to the passing of Argentine football legend Diego Maradona. The 1986 World Cup winning captain passed away Wednesday at the age of 60, the result of a suspected heart attack. In Naples, Italy, the city's mayor is urging Napoli to rename their San Paolo home after Maradona, and the club's owner, Aurelia De Laurentiis, in a quick response, has backed the idea. Maradona lifted a European Cup and 2 Scudetti during his 9-year stint with Napoli, the only league titles the club has won in its entire history. Now, in Argentina, the country's president, Alberto Fernandez, has declared 3 days of official mourning for Maradona, where he will lie in state at the country's presidential mansion, Casa Rosada. Diego Maradona was loved globally, and perhaps he is single-handedly responsible for a large contingent of Argentine support in the Caribbean. Former reggae boy and Stoke City forward Ricardo Fuller authenticates this. Fuller is an Argentina supporter because of Maradona, and he joins us now to react to his passing. Now, we've heard a lot from a lot of people, Ricardo, about Maradona's passing and the sadness that has engulfed the world because of that. What's your feeling at this moment, just over 24 hours after learning?
Very, very, very sad indeed. Devastated. All those words put in one. It's just, as you can see, right across the entire world, is mourning the loss of a legend, really. Yes, it's one of them where people, I mean, even here in England, people say, yes, he cheated hands of God. But these same people, lots of them crying, lots of them sharing broken heart emojis. As you can tell, somebody with such a history is just absolutely devastating and very sad indeed.
Yeah. Ricardo, what attracted you so fiercely to Maradona and his talent? Because when he won the World Cup in 1986, you were probably just 6 or 7 years old, and probably 11 years old when he took Argentina to the 1990 World Cup finals. So where did this admiration for Maradona start?
Yes, absolutely. I was about 7, 1986, so I was born in 79, or 8. So yes, it is one of them where 4 or 5 years old, growing up in Tivoli Garden in Kingston, I used to play football in the pathway and on the street, as you know it, barefooted with stones as our goalpost and box ball as our football sometimes, and bursts or softballs, as you can imagine. And obviously watching the World Cup, hearing about Diego Maradona, watching him play, just attracted me so much to the player. And my entire game, if you know me as a person or as a player, you know the type of person I am. That's basically what Maradona play is like on the football field. Love to dribble, love to pass, love to create goals, love to take people on, can take a knock, still going. All those things, I developed my game and I tend to play just like him. And because of that, obviously seeing so many games and hearing his name all the time growing up in Tivoli Garden, it's just one of them where I tend to follow.
Ricardo, talk to us about the human element that came with Diego Maradona and of course his legacy in the fact that it would definitely live on.
Human, I don't think that's the word you want to use because everybody knows he's unbelievable. He does wonderful things, touched by the hand of God for sure, as we all know it. Things he do on the park, as you can tell, even in the game against, for example, take the game against England where he scored the hands of God. Yes, it was definitely a goal cheated, the English on that day, and obviously should not have stand. But the second goal was probably worth 2. As you can tell, where he took the ball from, his turn, and back in those days, as you all know, the pitches weren't as good as the pitches now. They were cutting up. They were not as flat as they are now. So for him to do that turn right there above the halfway line, in his own half, and to dribble past so many players, keep going as if they weren't even there, that goes to tell that there's nothing human in that. And the finish like that. That goal absolutely works too for me. So yeah, he's an unbelievable player and a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful football player. The best for me, really.
Ricardo, Maradona said he carries the plight of the poor in his heart, and he respects the working class. Let's look at his imperfections. Is it the reasons why you know, people love him so much because he was an icon, but at the same time, he had the common touch, and therefore he has always, you know, behaved differently. It shows that he's just human. And the fact that he can talk so much about appreciating and loving the poor and respecting the working class. Why exactly does people love him so much?
Absolutely, you nailed it there. You nailed it there. As you can tell, I mean, growing up where he came from in the shanty town in Argentina, which you all know the story and probably seen the movie as well. So many other myself, so many other Jamaican players and football players who have done really, really well across the world. Pele, back in his days, you know, come from really poor and destitute situations. So for him, Diego Maradona have come through all those things that he has seen and experienced as a young kid growing up and seen his family go through lots of poor issues. You know, it tend to obviously make him be that type of person that he is. Yes, he does stuff on and off the field that people will think, okay, a role model should not have done that, but that shows the human side of him. I mean, we all know him, you know, much more than being human. From what we've seen on the football pitches and what he has done for Barcelona, for Boca Juniors, for Barcelona, for the Argentina national team, and for Napoli, of course. And we won all those trophies and created so many histories personally and collectively as a team. Yes, he's been through a lot off the field, but that shows the human side of things, and obviously him growing through all the poverty-stricken area that he came from in Argentina, you know, helped. Obviously, that's why he cares about the poor so much, and obviously the working class, because he experienced those kind of lives and livelihood and the levity of these kind of the people, the poor class and middle class people.
Okay, you could say that his off-the-field issues is well documented, but he reminds me of another player, and I want you to tell me if you really agree with me on this. George Best. You remember George Best was this great footballer revered by many people around the world, even though he never played in the World Cup. But he had so many problems off the pitch, drunkenness, and he got in trouble a lot. And he eventually passed. And I remember when he passed, how sad it was in the world, footballing world. Does Diego Maradona reminds you a little bit of George Best in the way he ended his stint in this world?
Yes, it does. I mean, here in England, as we speak, earlier today, they were saying the same thing about him obviously being a comparison to George Best. Obviously, a legend on the football field, does unbelievable stuff, wonderful stuff with the football at his feet, left-footed as well. And he has, obviously, as you just said it, he has, you know, off-the-field issues, obviously, with alcohol, lots of partying, but yet still on the field, you know, no one could touch them. And obviously he died very young as well. I think it was 58, 59, somewhere around that. But for his age, it's pretty young. Same as Diego Maradona, 60. And he finished his career really early as well. A lot of people, you know, would imagine would have loved to have seen him playing a lot longer. Same.